Alright, so this is basically day 3 and now they're venturing out. So if you missed last week's Sunday message, it was all about the pigs finally crossing the boundary between where they used to not be able to go and now where they can. And of course they're gonna start exploring out here. And my next step is to move the sheep. We'll see how that goes. Peanuts work wonders. So they are way out now. And they got the peanuts. And later on, I'll feed them some watermelon down here. It's lovely here. They have so much to do. This is a, look at that. We're just gonna root. They're just gonna root around. Who says that pork chops are boring? Not I, not I, not I. There's my boys. They have found a place. Oh, look at how sleek and wet they are. Where did they get wet? Oh, they must have been playing in the seep. Look at them. Hi, boys. How you doing? You're all wet. That must feel good on this hot day. How's my muddy boys? Look at you. You're so muddy. You're all muddy. Hey, Snurfle Snorter. Just be careful of the wire when you're wet, boy. You get yourself a shock. I should probably move this wire back. Why didn't he get a shock? Why did he not get a shock? Did I forget to turn the fence on? He should have gotten a shock right then. They have to be shocked. If they're not shocked, no, it's plugged in. Why did he not get a shock? You know why they didn't get shocked? Because we must have popped a circuit, not a circuit breaker, but a surge protector. We popped the surge protector. Yeah. And the fence over by the ducks. See, that's why you gotta check the fence. Loud crack going on over here. You hear that snap? That's not good. Yeah, that needs to be. I gotta redo this whole fence, but I don't feel like doing it now, so I gotta. Yeah, okay. The boys got sparked. Now I don't want to turn the fence off because I want them to still get their lesson. That's really important. Like the first day pigs are moved in, you want them to test the fence, but you want it to be on. So this is a mess here. Okay, so I got to deal with that. So I do have to turn the fence off again. Hi, ducks. And I'm going to open you up a new place, but not right now, okay? So just chillax. The fence was not getting power because the surge protector had been tripped by. And that's good because you can blow out the whole house with one of these fences. Okay, we're on. Good. So, that's something I don't do, but I need to do every day, is check to make sure that fence is on. Good, so they're chilling out. They're chilling out. They blend in so well. They're lying in the sun. But evidently they like the soil there. So, okay, I gotta do some other stuff. I am dripping in sweat. So I opened the trailer, I backed the trailer up to the fence. I opened the fence to put the trailer in, and the damn sheep went under the trailer. They were so hungry for fresh grass, they literally crawled under the trailer and out the front, and they were loose. I was able to pick up Friendly Freckles and carry her, put her behind the fence, and I was afraid she was going to charge the fence, but she's luckily trained enough and has been shocked enough that she didn't. And then I led Mocha and Splotchy with the bowl of food, and I got over, just almost over to the fence, and then they turned and started walking back. So they went back. So Splotchy lets me get nearer. So I grabbed her, carried her over, put her in the fence, and then frickin' Mocha came and went down the little side alley on the outside of the fence. So what I did, I'll describe it more better. So Mocha went down this alley. I moved this piece of fence in and this piece of fence out. And so when she saw her buddies were kind of around the corner, she came and joined them, and then I closed the fence. They really don't want to run away. They wanted better grass, and it was time. And so here they come. So guys, what do you think? Is this okay? Does this meet your approval? You got water, which they just sniff. I've never seen them drink water. They sniff it. Oh, what's in there? Yeah, we got a hot fence though, girls. Again, they don't get shocked unless they touch it with their nose, because they are made of wool. They are an insulator. Oof, she comes so close to the fence. So the question is, if I put sheep in here that haven't been trained to fence or hot wire, are they just gonna charge through the fence? Or do I need to put them in a training pen and teach them about hot wire? That's a good question. The cows already know about it. So what do you think, Friendly Freckles? Is this okay? Are you okay? Oh, you did get shocked. Good for you. Like, watch out for the freaking fence. Good. The fence is working. All right, so it's Wednesday. I moved them here Sunday night, and they're definitely, there's definitely grass in here. There's a lot of forbs, meaning weeds like that Joe Pye weed, and I'm not sure, I haven't observed them whether they're eating that or not. They're certainly eating everything else. What else is it that they're eating here? They don't seem to like me as much since I unceremoniously carried them across the road. She's even eating dry leaves. That's interesting. Careful. Don't touch the fence. So they have some shade over there, which I hope they'll use. Sometimes they just lie in the sun. So they don't seem to mind it, even though it's going to be a hot day. It's going to be almost 90 or over 90 today, which is rare for up this far north. But the thing is, with every cage that we build for ourselves, there's always a way out, and there's always something, there's a green pasture waiting if we will only let go of our old overgrazed pastures in our own lives. It's a simple analogy, but these animals thrive on being moved to new places, even though they resist it, and they would much rather stay with what they are familiar with. So we're going to talk today about the key to your cage. The key to your cage. So what is the key? What is the key to your cage? And for me, it boils down to the message in the midst of an extremely legalistic time when Jesus basically said, hey, the kingdom of heaven is inside you. It's within you. And we often have what I call cages from our childhoods, things that we were told never to do, right? And as little kids, we took it in and we decided never to do that. It's like these electric fences. There's a certain behaviors that we get punished for. And for me, as a kid, and my parents meant well, please understand that. As a highly sensitive kid, possibly on the spectrum long before anybody, noticed that about a kid, I was just that weird kid that cried all the time, right? I was just a weird kid that everybody made fun of because I cried all the time. And all my life, I've heard the story, you're too sensitive, right? And identifying with whatever labels we've been put on, let me say that better. Identifying with whatever labels have been put on us is a cage, right? Thinking that money, if we just work hard enough and make enough money, we'll be free is also a cage. Now, money can help you get out of the cage, but a lot of times money creates a whole other cage. Not saying money's bad at all, but in our lives, we have these cages. For me, music set me free. Music was God coming into my life and waking me the heck up. They're walking with me. That's funny. And there's a deer fly. Music, when I was, I guess, about 8 years old, just one night I was watching, I don't know if it was the Little Drummer Boy or what it was that triggered it, Christmas music being played. And all of a sudden, in my pajamas, I was standing up in bed and music was coming up my legs in a blue light. I don't know how to describe it. And it was shooting out my fingertips. It was like, it was like, if you've ever seen The Fifth Element, it was like that moment when the fifth element just gets filled with whatever that energy was in the fifth element, right? To me, whether you are Christian, Muslim, Jew, Buddhist, Zoroastrian, agnostic, or spiritual but not religious, there is something huge beyond this. And yet in this life, we have chosen to limit ourselves to these little cages. Many of us commute to work in a little box called a car, and we sit in a little cubicle at work, which is a cage. Then we do the things we're paid to do, and usually we're only doing the things we're paid to do, and we all can see how it could be so much better if only someone would take our suggestions seriously. But we just keep doing it. And the old adage of, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result That's the story of our lives. A woman named Jackie Hawkins, who is a minister from the Unity Church that I kind of came back to faith in, did a sermon, and she used the example of it was either a lion or a leopard or a tiger, a big cat that had been for years in a cage, and it paced the cage all day, every day, just pacing the cage. And by the way, there's a great Bruce Cockburn song called Pacing the Cage, which I will link below. And they finally raised enough money so they could build this beautiful enclosure for this cat, this big cat. And, you know, they moved the cage into the enclosure. They opened the door of the cage, and basically the cat continued to pace its cage. And they took the cage away. And the cat, the lion, the leopard, the tiger continued to pace the cage that it had always paced all of its adult life. I think what Christianity boils down to, and perhaps the other world religions as well, but I grew up Christian, so that's what I know, that this man, whether you believe he's the Son of God or not, the things he said, that God is love, that whoever it is that created all of this, and so much more than we can even conceive of, so much more than we can even imagine, that entity, that force, that energy, the force, if you watch Star Wars, the Holy Spirit, if that works for you, all that is, whatever that is, that caused us to be here, that caused me to have consciousness and to be wanting to communicate with other manifestations of God with consciousness who can understand me. That force is love. And beyond love, there's only love. Friendly Freckles just came to say hello. Beyond love is only love. So for me, that's the key to the cage, is changing the way you think, changing the habits and routines that have held you to the same size as you've always been. When, you know, like any, I don't know, snake needs to grow and shed its skin. Any reptile needs to shed its skin. A caterpillar needs to shed its skin before it can metamorphosize into metaphors. I like metaphors better. Into a butterfly. And there's that moment, and this has been used 1,000 times by every motivational speaker in the world. The caterpillar doesn't know that it's going to turn into a butterfly. And it ends up turning into just some soup inside its chrysalis. And then it emerges sometime later. The parts are all put back together again. The particles, the cells, the atoms, the molecules are all put together again in a different form, a butterfly, and that butterfly can fly free. And that's, to me, what we're trying to do here. That's, to me, what a true spiritual path is all about. And for me, this man who was willing to speak truth to power 2,000 years ago, the keys of what he have said, the keys of what he has said still are powerful. Over the 2,000 years, people and church organizations and structure and bureaucracy have come in and kind of messed with it, in my opinion. And a lot of cruelty was done in the name of this man who is the embodiment of love. And as a disciple of this man, my attempt is to love not just me and my family, but to love these animals so that they have the kind of health that they were meant to be, that they were given by their creator, so that they can live a life that is natural and what you would have to say is happy for the animals. And because we have disrupted everything, we have to be their predator, but in the best sense of the term, that the predator keeps the flock healthy. There is no health insurance for millions of years, right? And the health insurance, if an animal was sick or injured and couldn't keep up with the herd or the flock, well, the predators were always on the outskirts, the wolves, the coyotes, the bears, the big cats, and they would take the weak, they would take the sick, they would take the injured, so that those animals didn't suffer long term. And part of how we as beings can go into altered states, I think evolved from when we were being the food for those big cats as well. And people have said, yes, when I was attacked by the cat, I was out of my body. I was looking down. People who have had near-death experiences often say, I was looking down. Bernie Siegel, I took a class with him, and he said as a boy he choked on a toy. And he remembers looking down on that kid down there, and he had no attachment to that kid. Like, he didn't care. Like, he was just in that kid for the time being, right? And it was time to leave that kid. So we don't know, and our fear of death is a fear of the unknown. But the cage, people, it's not always a physical cage. It's not always what you think it is. But it is the way we have been thinking. I hope that makes some sense. I wanted to keep it short today. I'm going to be in Albany this weekend. If you're going to be around, I'm going to be doing a morning service at Unity Church as well as an evening service there in Albany. So look it up, Unity Church in Albany online for the times. I think the morning is 10 o'clock and the evening is 7 o'clock. And the evening is more of a free form. We'll be doing more of my chants. All of it is sing along. If you haven't sung in years like me, I'm craving time with other people singing, and hopefully we can pull it off before the next the next prohibition on singing. Because singing also engages your immune system. Singing for me helps me to get out of my cage. And so today, I'm wishing you all the best. I'm wishing you blessings. I'm wishing you health. I'm wishing you health, wealth, happiness, all the good things that our Creator offers to us if we could only get out of our way. And every single one of us, if you have running water and salt and pepper, like, you're rich, right? So the cages that we complain about, 99.9% of them are cages that we've created with our mind. So here's the song, and I'll talk to you at the very end. And just think of anybody while you're singing the song with me. Think of anybody that needs your prayers, that needs your love, that needs a little bit of patience from you, that needs a little bit of honesty, that needs maybe to have that conversation that you've been avoiding, right? The things that we hold in our cages, the things that we avoid doing, that's what the cage is all about. And we can come out and be free today. In the name of all that is good, in the name of spirit, in the name of the universe, in the name of all that is, in the name of heart and love and soul and peace and healing. Have a great week. Peace, love, grieviness, over and out for this. Stay tuned for the song. Amen. Boom.
It's the key to your cage. It's the steps to your stage. It's the jewel of your rage in the war we all wage. It's the wind in your sail. It's the wind in your veil. The card that gets you out of jail. It's the steel in your rail. It's the key to your cage. It's the key to your cage. It's the key to your cage. It's the word on the street. It's the gift of a thief. It's your sigh of relief at your brand new belief. It's the road out of town. It's the loft in your down. It's the sound of the sound of your feet on the ground. It's the key to your cage. It's the key to your cage. It's the key to your cage. Wisdom of pain, the note the bottle contains. It's your skin in the game, while the rest just complain. It's the breath of a breeze in the tops of the trees. It's the moment you seize to secure your release. It's the key to your cage. 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 It's the key to your, it's the key to your, it's the key to your cage.
So thanks for coming so far with me today, and I hope you find the key to your cage at your own time, in your own pace, in your own way. May it be better than you could possibly imagine. And at this time, I'd like to extend prayers. I like to reach out my thoughts, my consciousness into the world to support those who need healing, those who are lonely, those who are hurt, those who are wounded, those who are sick, those who are confused, those who are lost, and to just extend love, to send out love into all that is. So hopefully it can touch your life. And may you take it, nurture it, expand it, and spread it in your directions. Peace, love, grooviness. Amen.